In this video, I'll show you how to let your chickens help you make the best compost for your garden. I'll show you a few techniques over the years that we have found to make this job easier. The first thing you need is easy access into the coop. In the back of the coop, we've got 3 big doors with lots of access. You can see the door is locked, but you don't use latches on a chicken coop because the raccoons can get in. I've never seen a raccoon that could defeat a drywall screw, not at least yet. Now that I've got the screw loose, I can open the door. You can see we've got plenty of access. The biggest thing you can do to make this easy to clean out is to put loose material in the bottom. We put in all kinds of sawdust last year, and you'll see how easy this is to clean out. You can also use grass clippings, anything that's loose that'll make it easy to pull this stuff up. A rake like this will make easy work. Looks like the rooster's a little bit upset. You can see when I scrape, it just comes right out. I'll pull out some of these plastic containers that fell in. You can see this stuff's gonna be really good for the garden. Here's the inside of the egg laying bays. The last one we have hooked up to electricity to keep the water from freezing. There's no wooden bottom to this, it's all dirt. So when we get all this compost out, we'll be left with dirt. All the way around the edge of the coop, we have concrete to make sure nothing can dig in. Because if you don't have that concrete, things dig in. Because we put about 10 inches of sawdust, you can see how loose everything is. If you don't put that loose material in, it makes this job really hard. We'll put all this chicken manure in this wheelbarrow because this stuff's like gold for the garden. A flat shovel works real nice for this. You'll want this chicken manure to sit for another year before putting it in the garden. Before we put all this loose material in, it was really hard to clean out the coop. Now it's easy. This stuff almost looks like stuff you'd buy in the store. I wonder how this thing got in there. This stuff just scoops right out. Flat shovel gets into the corners real nice and easy. Now that we've got a lot of it out, we'll just keep using the rake to scrape everything loose. Just keep breaking it up. You can see how easy that comes out. Now this is all ready for the greenhouse. Because this manure is so fresh, you're gonna wanna let this sit for a year before using it in the garden. This stuff's so hot, it'll just burn the plants this year, but it'll be perfect next year. And we'll keep filling up that wheelbarrow. We'll open up the second side of the coop. This side of the coop is designated for younger chickens before they're big enough to introduce them into the flock. I put this chicken wire on the inside so they can see the other big chickens from the other side, but they're protected. We'll keep transferring this stuff over to the greenhouse. Pretty nice pile there. Sometimes the younger chickens need a little bit more warmth, so I keep a light in here. When the chickens are real young, they go in here. This also helps keep all the chickens separated. There's a place for food, water. Here's another part of the watering system. It'll roll off the roof into this container and then go into the coop. The water drains down this pipe right here and then inside the coop right here. Here's some little baby chicks that'll eventually go out to the coop. Right over here is the third portion of the coop. This sees a lot of use, so we'll get this cleaned up. Some years I've got a lot of sawdust. This year, not so much, so we're gonna use grass clippings. Now that we've got everything all cleaned up, we just need that loose material put back in there. We'll pack the entire bottom of the coop with this grass until it's completely filled in, and then next year it'll be perfect compost. The chickens really like this grass. When you put it in here, they'll actually eat some of it. What they don't eat will break down and will be terrific for the garden. It's always nice having a clean coop. Just keep adding it in. When you get compost like this out of the coop, it almost makes you want to clean the coop. Almost. When this compacts, we can put more in. If you're trying to make compost, let the chickens do the work. Instead of you stirring it up, let them stir it up. When you're making compost, these chickens do an awful lot. They stir it up, they add to it. If you've ever made compost, you know how much work it is. So these chickens really take a lot of the work out. In a way, it's kind of like you're working together. In fact, when clippings like this dry out, they create a lot of heat, so it's nice that the chickens get in here and stir it all up. In the fall, you can put leaves in here. If you've got wood chips, you can put those in there. Anything you got, put it in there and they'll work with it. That's how you work together with your chickens to make the best compost for the garden.